From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your afternoon update.
Well, certainly a classic July day out there in a lot of respects. Temperatures in the lower 90s for today. Heat index values, though, in the triple digits easily with some spotty thunder shower, maybe a storm here they're developing through this afternoon. We're not talking widespread stuff, not nearly as much as yesterday, but we'll have to keep an eye on that. Download the Tennessee Valley Weather app, and you can see notifications of lightning strikes nearby. Through tonight, we dry out. Temperatures get back down to the 70s. It's going to be humid out there, though, so if you maybe want to have some dinner outside with the family, bring a mosquito repellent. That much is for sure. Now into tomorrow morning, looks like we continue with some shower chances. In fact, that's pretty much the story for our Monday. Some scattered thunderstorm development does look relatively likely. Highs in the mid-90s, especially in the second half of the day. I think that's the time frame to watch for continued storm development. All right, so I want to talk about next week because that looks to be really the more particularly hot time frame, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Boy, I'll tell you what, we're really raising those temperatures at really the heat index values. That's the main X factor in this. So we'll continue with some isolated thunder showers, a storm here or there, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to be sure. But especially as we head into that exact same time frame I just mentioned, I think high pressure, if you notice that clockwise motion across the eastern United States, is going to be funneling moisture into the area. That's why we have these widespread 107 plus heat index values. Some of us maybe as high as 109 to 110. That, as a result, is why we have these heat advisories already popping up across the area. The entire Tennessee Valley viewing area, the entire Tennessee Valley weather viewing area, that is, from Huntsville all the way over to Savannah, even out further west, is in a heat advisory. And of course, we even have this extreme heat warning slowly creeping south and east that we'll have to keep an eye on, see if it gets expanded into our area. You know, if the trends continue, it wouldn't shock me, especially because we continue to see widespread indications of 107, 108 for the heat indexes. And you got to keep in mind, that's just the baseline. Some of us might be 109, 110 in that out there. So the extreme heat warning is actually the criteria 110, 111. So, you know, if we do see that, we'll, of course, let you know. But if nothing else, this heat advisory should kind of set the alarm bells off that, hey, let's keep an eye on that. Let's stay very, very hydrated through this week. Let's not overexert ourselves. And, you know, let's not have any shame in taking a break on a hot summer day. That much is for sure. So it's going to be hot and humid in that midweek time frame. Mostly clear skies outside of the spotty thunderstorm chances, but there are some spotty thunderstorms to be sure. Then as we head towards the end of the week, next weekend, still going to be hot and humid, but I don't think the heat becomes the main story quite as much as it will be for the first and middle half of the week.